up, people? Trust the police. Back the blue. How did we get here?
That's the fan!
The actions of officers caught on video throwing drinks on citizens who were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, come on, people. You gotta back the blue. They're just having fun in an unmarked car on duty, throwing and assaulting people who did nothing for no reason and laughing about it and filming it. Come on, people, back the blue. Earning the hate. Welcome to another episode of Earning the Hate. So a lot of people are going to come here automatically and say, well, this is 2 years old. Look, people, there's a 2-year statute of limitations normally on civil suits. So when you need to sue the government, there's a 2-year limitation. You got to file suit. That's why these agencies are always, we can't talk about the investigation. It's an ongoing investigation. That's why investigations go on for 2 years, has ongoing investigations. They want the statute of limitations passed. They don't want to release evidence until it's old. Why? Because people that will come here in this video and go, oh man, you're just trying to make the cops look bad. That was 2 years ago. So what? Constitution is 250 years ago. We need to ignore it because it's old. That's bullshit. This is a practice and procedure on why cops are out of control, why they remain out of control, and why they keep getting worse. There is no accountability in law enforcement, and it sickens me as a 30-year retired officer. It's disgusting. Let's look at some of the things in here, and I'll explain kind of what's going on.
Those were the words used by LMPD in 2022 after 2 officers pleaded guilty to violating the rights of citizens through arbitrary use of
force. Oh, cops don't do that today. Cops don't get out of the car and say, get out of the car, get in the car. Your light was out. I'm writing you a ticket. You don't have a seatbelt. Your tent's too dark. Get out of the car. Stay in the car. You're refusing my orders. You're under arrest for resisting. Stop resisting. Tase, beat. DA refuses the charge. This is just standard operating procedure. And people that don't get it and come here and say, man, this is just a cop hate channel. You're just trying to bring hate. I don't make hate for the cops. I simply try to educate people so they'll stop falling for the propaganda, the Stockholm syndrome of back the police no matter what you do, because we need them, because they're our friends, because when we're in trouble, we call them and they always come to help. They don't come to help. Most decent people never even call the cops, never even see a cop unless they see him eating somewhere or speeding by, driving like a maniac, chasing somebody for a taillight out.
Both detectives no longer work for LMPD. These 2 men you see right here, Kurt Flynn and Brian Wilson, admitted to throwing drinks at people while on the job. Both pleaded.
Who thinks that's all they threw at people? Who thinks this is all they did that was unethical, immoral, just a total lack of care of any person, of any feelings by anybody, because they're untouchable, because they can't. Do you think if these guys could actually lose their home and be sued, that they would have done this? I guarantee you the answer is not no, but hell no. They do it because they know the taxpayers pay, they're protected with immunity, and most departments will blow it off, and most DAs don't want to charge cops because they need cops to get prosecutions. It's all a scam, and it starts with holding cops accountable. They are the only government employees that can literally kill you with no due process. No trial, no nothing. They have the right to kill you and claim officer safety. All y'all come free, no problem.
Guilty to federal charges of violating civil rights while working in West Louisville. Now, years later, we've obtained video from the infamous Slushy Gate through an open records request.
They call it Slushy Gate because they were throwing slushies at them.
Our Jim Stratman has been going through those videos today.
A lot has changed since August of 2018, the first time that LMPD officers recorded themselves throwing drinks on residents. Still, the video is quite shocking, and it does shine a light on the department and the city as they work to negotiate a consent decree.
That's the fan! When he talks about a dissent decree is something to make pesky citizens feel good. This is where basically the DOJ sues, the federal government sues a police department and says, hey, we want a consent decree that you need to start trying harder to be nice and not abuse your authority. And the police department signs an agreement that we're going to try harder and we're going to implement new policies and new things. It doesn't matter. There's no accountability. Don't fall for, the feds are protecting us by putting a consent decree on a department. It's a scam, people.
As they work to negotiate a consent decree.
The actions of officers caught on video throwing drinks on citizens who were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Dude, I actually feel bad about that. I don't know if I got it on film.
Laughing at the outcome. The Department of
So the bigger problem that people don't see on these type of incidents, and I always said, the most crooked people always surrounds themselves with crooked, unethical people. You can judge a guy by who his friends are. I talk about the dirty DA Jeff Reisig in Yolo County, 5 times reelected, nothing but scandal around him, hiding evidence all the time, cases getting overturned, censored, doesn't care, keeps getting reelected. He only kept people and promoted people that he had dirt on, that he caught doing something wrong, and that were unethical. Because when you have dirt on somebody, you can hold them to do your other dirty deeds. These 2 cops could never turn in each other for doing something wrong, because they had video of each other doing something wrong. Therefore, if one of them did something, the other one would always have to back the blue and back him up and back his story. This is my big problem with this back the blue culture, to where it's us against them, cops first, officer safety, screw everybody, shoot everything. This is really critical that people get down and understand. When you surround yourself with dirty, unethical people, they have dirt on you, you have dirt on them, and it's very, very hard for anybody to stand up and say, I'm not going to do this. Serpico's perfect example. The culture was so bad about taking money that when he stood up and said, I ain't taking money, it's wrong, it's unethical, they turned on him because they couldn't control him. They couldn't make him cover for their lies. This is the deeper, dark truth to this back the blue and this culture of only cops first, officer safety, limited immunity, etc. It's just so out of control.
Justice said that between August 2018 and September of 2019, 2 former LMPD officers, Brian Wilson and Kurt Flynn, violated the rights of citizens they were sworn to protect through actions like this.
Up against the building. Oh, she's coming. Don't miss. Get her.
Nate, I want you to notice that this guy is in, they're in an undercover car, but they're wearing police gear. They're in uniform. What do you think would happen if one of these citizens threw a drink on them as soon as they threw a drink back? Do you think they'd be like, oh, that was good, that was funny, you got us? No. They would use their powers and their corruption to arrest, resist, beat the shit out of, maybe just beat him up and say, you owe us, and you better not ever, or we'll freaking kill you. I mean, it's, people see these little things. If you review my videos of Earning the Hate, you see a constant trend of cops doing things that most people are like, why do they think they would get away with that? Because they do get away with it.
The 2 pleaded guilty in 2022. Wilson was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison, while Flynn was set to serve 3 months.
That is
3 months. Boy, that'll teach them.
unacceptable set of...
So this is just the new politicians coming in saying, hey, we weren't in charge when this happened. We're better. We have better supervisors. We're doing a better job. It's all bullshit. I'm telling you, personal accountability. People don't do this in regular jobs because they'll get fired and they know their career's over. And that's why they're held accountable, and that's why there's standards. There is none of that in law enforcement. You don't lose your job. You don't get held accountable. You aren't fined. You can't lose your house. You can't be sued. DAs don't charge you. Juries don't convict you because of the Stockholm syndrome and this blind back the blue. You have to be a good American in order to back the blue. Otherwise, you're a bad American.
Incidents that happened years ago before the chief was chief or even on LMPD and before I was mayor.
In the wake
Whatever.
of the video being released, Kim Martinez
Oh, look at the American flag in the background. Doesn't that make you feel like, oh?
about where the department was at the time and where he believes it's heading.
We are focused on improving the culture of LMPD where we proactively
We're focused. We're proactive. We are really got good words to explain that nothing's freaking changed.
Work with community, where we build trust with the community, and we want to have an LMPD that everyone trusts and respect. And so we are focused on a very different way of training.
I've said it before, cops get an enormous amount of training. I have thousands, literally thousands of hours of training. If people aren't required to follow their training, training is absolutely useless. I can train you for 50 years, and if you get out and ignore everything that you were trained and nothing happens, why the hell am I investing in training? Training is supposed to be accountable. You were trained to do this and you didn't, so now you're fired. You were trained to do this and you didn't, now you're getting sued and you're losing your house. You went against your training, so there's repercussions. That doesn't happen.
Improved focus on supervision. Incidents like that will not be tolerated by Chief Gwynn Bill-Roel or myself.
Remember, it was that kind of culture that led to the department and the city entering into a consent decree negotiation with the Department of Justice.
By the way, the DOJ dropped the consent decree. So the DOJ sued them and says, you got to implement these things. They went to court for 2 years, and now the DOJ has dropped it, and they went, never mind. Go back to normal. It's been 2 years. Most people forgot. They'll move on.
Now, in that sit-down interview with Mayor Greenberg, the mayor said that the city has still not received the first draft of that.
2 years later, hasn't referred to his first draft? Breaking news. DOJ dropped it.
Consent decree.
But at the time, people were probably upset. At the time, people were like, oh, we're getting justice. The FBI and DOJ is on the job. They're going to fix it. Earning a hate. Pulling up there.